Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and this lock was sent to me by the excellent member of the community who we know as Oceanaut. And this says on it 2005 rare. And I have to admit, I've never seen a Ruko cam like this, and this must be an older one. It's in fabulous condition as well. If it's been used, it's not been used much. It's an old one because it is actually Ruko, not Asa Abloy Ruko, or indeed just Asa Abloy, which is sad because the Ruko mark has now been disbanded, I believe, which is, I think, really, really sad. It's a lovely little cam lock. To pick it, and I'm going to throw it in this vise in a second, I just need to slightly disassemble it. There we go. And there is a reason for this, and that's because this is a really long tailpiece, and if I don't take it off, it's going to really hamper the core turning in the lock. And it's actually one of the reasons why, when you've got one of these little cam locks and it isn't actually in situ in whatever device it should be sat in, then if you put it into a vise to pick it, which is sensible, and you put it into something like, there we go, a wide draw like that, you can see that it would be hard to put in. If you could, then you'd probably trap the tailpiece in. It's one of the top reasons why people don't think they can pick a cam lock. It's because they've actually trapped the tail in the back, which normally, if it was actually in something, would be free floating. It's actually it's one of those occasions where putting it in a vise can make it harder. Anyway, so let's throw this in this little vise here. And, well, there's a weird thing about this lock. See, I've not looked inside. I've got no idea what's inside, but I do know that Ruko in general are pretty tough locks to pick. They usually have amazing pins. Now, this doesn't have a fabulous bitting, but it's still a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin Ruko. It works so smoothly as well. But what I found was, when I was messing about with it, I grabbed a tension tool and I tried to find the same ones I did, like that, threw that in the bottom. And I took this nice pick from Daz Evers and applied some tension. I sort of put it in. I got my feel for where we are in the lock, and had a bit of a flick through the pins like this, and went to the back and found that that's sort of that the last pin is sort of picked, and I was just basically just going through and just trying to find a binder. Then I found that I think it's pin 4 was binding, and get underneath it and picked it, and then it sort of just opened like that, and that was like really strange because I've never had a Ruko lock sort of pick like that before, and this is just normal. This is slightly higher hook than I'd normally go in a small keyword like this, but I was just wiggling around and just trying to find a binder. So just gently wiggling it and tapping it across the pins like this under light tension, just to try and see if I can force a pin to bind. And when I went into the back again and just, there you go, touched it, it picked. Now, I generally did this a few times, just like you saw there, and it just surprised me because normally these Rukos are really tough. I mean, I know what's going on. I'm pretty sure you know as well that and this, just putting the pick in to feel about what's going on, and it looks really that just by wiggling it somewhere in the keyway, I've set pins 1, 2, and 3. Probably just nudged 5 somewhere with the tip of the pick, leaving only pin 4 to pick, which I think it has some kind of spooling on it, I'm pretty sure. Well, it's certainly the easiest Ruko I've ever picked, and it's something which can be replicated as well. So I'm pretty sure it was just a completely random choice of pick, the right pick, right time, right lock. But nevertheless, it just goes to show that even mighty locks like Ruko aren't necessarily always hard to pick. It all depends on the bitting and a bit of luck and all sorts of things. But there we go. So let's put the key in. Look at this tailpiece here, though. Look at that. You see, it's only flat. So it's only at the right height, where you've got all these threads here, or at the bottom where you've got this groove. You don't want the pins to really hit any of those, so you're going to have to stick a shim in. And if I just wiggle the key a little bit that way and try and put the shim in over the top like that, and then turn it back to the top, and you can see it poking out. Now I can try and get a follower like this and just push it out, following the pin stack like that, which is a bit risky, a bit more risky a way of doing it. You normally would turn the core. If I did that, then they'd all fall into this tailpiece and it just would be ugly. So that's where we are. So I'm just really interested to know what's inside this. I mean, it's a beautiful little lock. Love it so much. So I think Ruko tend to have standard pins. They also have generally amazing tolerances. I'd like to think that by and large there are no easy Rukos to pick. It just isn't a thing which is easy to pick at all. And also, if you look here, if I turn these around, you'll see that these have a beveled or tapered edge. Just looking at these, let's grab one. Let's grab that one. It's the biggest. Let's see if I can get a focus on it. Yeah, can you see up here? And that means that these are very, very prone to oversetting. There's lots of lock brands that do this, and it only really comes into play with really, really fine tolerances. So I just think Tessa and TSS, Lockwood do that. So yeah, they're all brilliant locks to pick. So just turn this round. So we've got that notch, and gently see what we've got here. So we've got a standard pin in one. It's beveled again. A beveled pin in two. This might again explain why it's not particularly hard to pick. Not the best bitting. Small keyway. Standard again. Very small driver pins. Standard again. I swore that was a spool pin, but it's not. And standard again. So they are beveled pins, but that's about it. Let's have a look at that core. Where's the core gone? Are there any threading, anything unusual or Ruko-esque in there? No, there isn't. So this is a bit of a surprise. I would have sworn that there was a spool on pin 5, but there is not. It's actually just quite a deep bevel. So again, this tends to, once you pick it, drop back down, a bit like a taper. See that taper? Drop back down into the keyway and need picking again. So that's the only one which really had any issue for me, and even that wasn't particularly hard. So this is relying entirely on good tolerances and pin tapering or beveling, and that's good. That's good in a lock like this. I just think it's been let down by maybe it's the key bitting, and also a bit of bad luck that I just happened to choose a pick which just assisted me in picking this lock in the way that I did. Anyway, hopefully there's a few little lessons there and little bits and bobs that you gleaned from that. I hope it was interesting to you at least. If you did like this video, I really appreciate a like. If you have anything to comment about, I read as many comments as I can and reply to as many comments as I can, so please put a comment below. And of course, if you haven't subscribed, I'd really appreciate you considering subscribing to the channel as well for more content like this. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.